How does a city die twice? Not once, twice. Buried, forgotten, then dug up and rebuilt. Then buried again. Somewhere beneath the plains of Armenia, that city is sleeping. Its name was Dvin, and almost no one remembers it. Tonight, we go into the dark to find it. Here is the mystery. For over 1,000 years, Dvin was one of the great cities of the East. A capital, a crossroads. Merchants, kings, and bishops walked its streets. Then it was gone. Not once, but layered under the ground in two separate catastrophes centuries apart. The open question is simple and strange. How does a city so important vanish so completely that most people alive today have never heard its name? To answer it, we go back to the 4th century. Armenia is a kingdom caught between giants, Rome to the west, Persia to the east. Around the year 335, a king named Khosrov moves his court to a low green hill on the Ararat plain. He plants a forest there for hunting. The place is called Dvin. Within a few generations, it becomes the beating heart of the country. The royal palace rises. The great cathedral is built. Craftsmen fire glazed pottery in 100 colors. Picture a city where 40,000 people live inside the walls, where merchants speak Armenian, Persian, Greek, and Arabic in the same market, where silk from China and glass from Syria change hands in a single afternoon. This is Dvin at its height, one of the richest trade cities between Constantinople and Baghdad. And here is the part nobody tells you. This wasn't a small town that got lucky. Arab geographers ranked it among the great cities of the world. They wrote that its wealth was famous, its bishops powerful, its position priceless. And yet you can walk through any modern history class and never once hear its name spoken aloud. So how does a city like that fall? The answer begins with its greatest weakness. Dvin sits on the road everyone wants. Every army marching between the empires passes through the Ararat plain, and a rich city on an open road is a target. In the year 640, the armies of the Arab Caliphate reach the walls. The chronicles are brutal in their honesty. The city is stormed. Tens of thousands are killed or led away into captivity. The streets run with the dead. For a moment, Dvin is a ruin, its markets silent, its churches empty, its people gone. This is the first fall, but it is not the burial, not yet, because what comes next is stranger than destruction. Dvin does not stay dead. Under Arab rule, it becomes a provincial capital again. A governor moves in. New walls go up over the ruins of the old. The mosque and the cathedral stand within sight of each other. The kilns light again, and the glazed pottery flows out along the trade roads. The city climbs back to greatness on top of its own ashes. And this is the first clue to our mystery, the reason a single site can be buried more than once. Cities like Dvin don't spread outward when they rebuild. They build up, layer on layer, each new town resting on the crushed bones of the last. Here is something most people never understand about a lost city. It is almost never one city. Dig down through the mound and you find them stacked like pages in a book. Burned floor, rebuilt floor, burned again. Each disaster becomes a seal of ash, and the survivors build right on top of it. So when archaeologists finally opened Dvin, they weren't digging up a town. They were digging up centuries, a palace on a palace, a church over a church, a market above a market. The deeper you go, the older the world becomes. And every one of those layers is a story of people who thought their city would last forever, and were wrong. So the city returns. By the 9th and 10th centuries, Dvin is booming again. Its glazed ceramics are prized across the region. Its merchants are wealthy. Control of the city passes between dynasties, Arab emirs, Armenian and Georgian kings, and later the rising power of the Seljuk Turks. Everyone wants Dvin, because whoever holds Dvin holds the road. and a city fought over that fiercely is a city living on borrowed time. But the threat that finally destroys Dvin is not an army. It is the ground itself, because the same plain that made Dvin rich sits on top of something the builders never saw: a fault line. The whole region is a seam where the earth grinds against itself, and every few centuries it slips. The people of Dvin build their towers higher, unaware that the land beneath them is a loaded weapon. It happens in the year 893. A single night. The chronicles say the earth heaved without warning, and the great city of Dvin was thrown down in an instant. The walls fold, the towers drop. The stacked houses of centuries collapse into the streets in a roar of dust. And the numbers the medieval writers give are almost impossible to believe. Some say 70,000 people died in that one earthquake. Whether the true figure is that high or lower, the meaning is the same. In a single night, one of the great cities of the East was flattened into rubble. Not conquered, not besieged, simply shaken into the earth while its people slept. This is the second fall, and this time the burial is real. The earthquake doesn't just knock the buildings down, it seals them. Whole rooms are entombed under their own roofs, frozen at the moment of collapse. But even now, Dvin refuses to die completely. People creep back. They rebuild among the ruins. A smaller town clings to the great mound for 2 more centuries. Then come the final blows. In the 12th and 13th centuries, war returns to the plain. The Mongols sweep through the region. The trade roads shift. The great powers that once fought over Dvin lose interest in a broken city on a fault line. And slowly, not in a single night this time, but over generations, Dvin is abandoned. The wind carries in the dust. Grass grows over the fallen walls. The mound rounds off into a low green hill, and the plain forgets there was ever a city here at all. So now to the payoff. How do we know all this is true and not just legend? The evidence is under the ground, and it's remarkable. Starting in the 20th century, archaeologists cut down into the mound of Dvin, and they found exactly what the layered story predicts, city upon city. They uncovered the foundations of the great cathedral, the palace of the governors, the walls of the citadel. They found the workshops and the kilns, and thousands of pieces of that famous glazed pottery. And then they found the proof of the disaster itself. Deep in the mound, the excavators hit a layer where the walls hadn't just fallen. They'd been snapped and tilted, all in the same direction, the way ground moves in a quake. Rooms sealed at the instant of collapse, skeletons crushed beneath fallen roofs, still lying where they died in the year 893. The medieval chronicles said the earth threw Dvin down in a single night. And there, 1,000 years later, was the night itself, preserved in the dirt. The buried city and the buried disaster, matching words.